Arla, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Gimel. The Mishnah starts by telling us, Ha'oireg meloi hasit. Somebody who weaves the length of a piece of wool of a meloi hasit. We mentioned in Mishnah base that a meloi hasit is the distance between the two fingers, the etzba and the amor, when they're stretched out as far as possible. This distance here is the meloi hasit. We also mentioned that there's another shitta that this is the distance of a meloi hasit between the thumb and the index finger. So somebody who weaves that length, mitzema ha-bechoi, from the wool of a bechoi. A bechoi is the firstborn male animal born from a behemoth tahira, such as sheep, goats, or cows. And the Torah tells us in Parshas Ve'eh that a bechoi has kedusha from the time it's born, and there are certain restrictions in relation to a bechoi before it's given to a kohen. One of the restrictions is v'lo sogois bechoi tzonecha. You are not allowed to shear the wool from a bechoi. If a person does shear the wool of a bechoi, Tiferes Yisrael explains here that it is also b'hano midrabanan. And the Bartanura is explaining to us that the bechoi that we're talking about here is a bechoi which is a balmum. It has a blemish. Somebody takes some of that wool, which is also b'hano, whether it's a balmum or whether it's a tam, whether it's blemished or not blemished, and he weaves it into a beged. Says the Mishnah, Yidolik ha-beged. The beged has to be burnt. Why? Because it's also b'hano. The Mishnah continues, Umisah ha-nozi. If somebody takes some of the hair of a nozi is somebody who's undertaken upon himself a neder of Nazirus. One of the things a nozi is not allowed to do is to cut his hair. Not only is he not allowed to cut his hair, but the hair has a certain kedusha. The pasuk tells us in Parshas Nosai, Kodesh Yeh, it has kedusha. Gadel pera sar roshei. The hair of his head should continue to grow. If somebody takes some of that hair of a nozi and he weaves it into a sack, or mir petach hamoy, or he takes some of the hair of a petach hamoy. Petach hamoy is a firstborn male donkey, which in the first instance is supposed to be redeemed against a seh being either sheep or goat. And instead the owner doesn't want to redeem it, so va'araftoi, says the Torah, you have to axe its head and then bury it, and it's completely osa b'hano. If somebody takes some of its hair and weaves that into a sack, says the Mishnah, Yedolek hasak, the sack needs to be burnt. Again, he's used something which is also b'hano. Uva mekdoshin, says the Mishnah, if somebody takes a hair of something which is hektish, such as a korban, mekatshin kol shehein, then the animal is also the sack or the beged which he has woven with the hair from this mukdoshin, from this hektish, is also, even if it's not a meloi hasit, even if it's the tiniest, smallest amount, the tiniest, smallest amount is already considered to be a davar chodosh, or a davar choshev, and a davar choshev cannot be bottled. The question is, we've learnt in Mishnah Aleph and in Mishnah Base, there was a machlokas between Rav Meir and the Chachamim. Rav Meir said, Yidolik, it cannot become bottled, and the Chachamim said, same type of Mishnah, but the Chacham said it is bottle in the proportion of 200 to 1, which is the normal proportion that we talk about by Arla. Question is, there is a shit in Yerushalmi that this Mishnah is also going not only according to the Rav Meir, but is also going according to the Chachamim. If it's going according to the Chachamim, then why do the Chachamim not say here that when we're talking about, for instance, the Tzema B'choi, why is that not bottle in a proportion of 200 to 1? The Mishnah Rishonah brings down the Gemara tomorrow, which asks this kasha, and he says perhaps the answer is because the weaving we're talking about here is not just that we took this piece of wool and we wove it into a beged and now you can no longer see where it is in the beged. We're talking about where he took this piece of wool and he wove it into a tzura, into a form, a specific pattern within the beged. For instance, he says a tzipoi, as the form of a bird. And this piece of wool that he's taken has formed part of this whole bird, therefore it's now considered like a davar choshev, and even the Chachamim will agree that in this case, it's not bottle. Ad kan, Mishnah Gimel.